everybody. Welcome back to Amazon Suspension Trends. If you're listening to this for the first time, welcome in. I do these all the time because I see all kinds of trends in the reinstatement appeal or account or ASIN suspension space. The work we do 24/7, most hours of the day, and I've got lots of insights to share with you. So questions on it, of course, reach out. I've noticed something that I'm kind of amazed is still going on in this day and age, which is everyone else is doing something. Why can't I do it too? In other words, you were suspended, you were caught doing something that a lot of sellers that are actively selling now on the site are doing, and they haven't been punished, or they only got a warning or a slap on the wrist, and you've been suspended. Or they were also suspended, but they were quickly reinstated and they went right back to doing what they got suspended for, but they haven't been suspended a second time. Unfortunately, this has been going on for years and years, way back to when I was working at Amazon, looking at these appeals, suspending sellers myself. If you're not familiar with us, I worked at Amazon for several years. I've been consulting sellers on reinstatement appeals for over 10 years since leaving Amazon, because this is a common misconception and misunderstanding we see. And it's alarming that people assume that just because somebody else gets away with evading policy enforcement, that they will be able to get away with it as much or as often. You could be an apples and oranges comparison. You might have nothing similar to that seller who got the light slap on the wrist when you were punished. Maybe they've been selling for 10 years. Maybe you've been selling for 2. Maybe they're a huge account and they've got account managers that they're paying for that are helping to get them out of trouble or protect them. Maybe you're not even paying at all for an account manager. There could be lots and lots of factors involved. So never just assume that just because somebody is doing something similar to what you're doing, or that they're in your category, or maybe you've known them and seen them for a while, never assume anything, but never especially assume that that is a good enough reason to go ahead and do something that breaks the rules. I can't tell you how many WhatsApp groups I've been added to, conversations I've been included in, whether they're in person or collective Zooms, might be a messaging app, whatever it is, where people show us this stuff. And the second I point out that practice violates policy, or whatever their behavior is violates the Amazon Seller Code of Conduct, they immediately respond with, look at all these other people who are doing the same thing. Obviously, Amazon made a mistake punishing me. And I look at that and say, well, go ahead and report all those other people if you want to, because, maybe I look at what all those other people are doing. Maybe I just look at a couple of them, but I see that it's pretty much the same offense. I mean, that's extremely common, whether it's merging ASINs the wrong way, ASIN variation creation, detail page abuses. I mean, it could be violating image policies. It could be anything under the sun, really. The same as product review manipulation. Some people are out there, rest assured, they are out there selling despite the fact that they're breaking policies left and right. They might have been reported for padding their 5-star reviews. And sometimes it's even obvious that they're doing it. And people will show me that and I'll say, yeah, that's worth reporting. It's certainly not worth copying. That's not something where you want to just make it an easy layup for Amazon enforcement teams to cut you down. And your plan to appeal is there's 7 other sellers doing the same exact thing. I suppose you could put that in an appeal versus putting nothing in an appeal of value, but it doesn't really address the fact that you were still violating the policy, right? Whether it's listing abuses, product review abuse or manipulation, attacking another seller, or sending the messages you're not supposed to, messaging buyers outside of the buyer-seller messaging system, whatever it might be, those are violations. Those are spelled out pretty clearly in the Code of Conduct and on the policy pages. I quote from them all the time. People that work with me do. We talk about it. We write articles about it all the time. So it's out there. And you can't say that just because it might not be the best interpretation for you, and the policy pages are interpreted in a way that's different than the way you'd like them to be interpreted, that's not the basis for an appeal either, right? And again, just because your peers or colleagues or competitors are doing whatever they want to do and they seem to be getting away with it, they're competitors that deserve to be reported. That doesn't mean you copy them. We've seen numerous sellers kind of catching up to this and understanding that, yeah, we can't just blindly copy other people and assume that we'll all keep getting away with it, and that black hat methodology will rule and no one needs to follow any rules going forward. Anyone can break any policy they want. Maybe that was 2017, 2018, years and years ago. That's not what Amazon practices now in terms of zero tolerance policy enforcement. It's not today's Amazon, let's say. They're not interested in having different teams shown mistake after mistake. This seller was reported, no action was taken. This seller is clearly abusing policies, no action taken. No, it's actually the opposite. Right now, they're more motivated to enforce policies. Do they need to be shown by you that a seller is abusing policies and they didn't necessarily find it on their own? Yes, unfortunately, that's been going on for years. That is still true. Maybe as some of the automated tools, some of what they've got going on now in terms of enforcement investigations and other investigations they're doing, maybe some of that will improve in the next 12 to 18 months. You can't count on that. You have to point out to them all these other people are breaking the rules. Yes, that does create a level playing field. If you've been punished for something and you were breaking the rules and a bunch of other people who compete with you are doing the same thing, if you all end up enforced, then the playing field should be where it should be, or at least back to the way that it was before they started breaking the rules. The answer is never going to be, we reported these guys, we opened a seller support case. Of course, that didn't mean anything. You're not reporting them properly. Or we sent an email to an abuse prevention queue, email queue, a generic email queue. Of course, everyone knows that half the time those go to the rubbish bin and they don't get enforced. Yes. Well, if you're not reporting them properly, then talk to me about it, because we do that stuff all the time. If you are reporting them properly and Amazon still has a blind spot and still won't enforce that policy against that seller, well, then that is worth an escalation, internal or external, right? Because if you've caught this seller dead to rights, if you've been punished for something, you've cleaned up your act, you've reported them, and they're still getting away with murder, then that's a murder you need to report to the Amazon authorities, because that cannot continue. And you can't be discouraged easily. You can't get frustrated easily. I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating for you. It's even frustrating for us, and we are kind of numb to it. We deal with it all the time. But the bottom line is, you can't just say, Amazon doesn't do anything and shrug and complain and leave it there. No. Of course, you have to keep leaning into that until you get it solved. Is enforcement inconsistent? Yes. Has it been for years? Yes. Are some of the investigations poorly conducted or sloppy? Yes, of course they are. Everyone knows this. People at Amazon know this. Account managers at Amazon will tell you sometimes how frustrated they are that their seller is being picked apart and scrutinized to no end, but some of the competitors in that category appear to have free reign to repeat or reoffend and repeatedly abuse policies, and somehow they're still actively selling. I understand that frustration just as much as you do. I might have a better idea of how to report them than you do. So bring us in if you need to, but don't copy those practices. Don't just assume that because a bad actor is slipping through the net, getting away with something today, that they're going to be able to get away with it in the future, number one. Number two, don't assume that you can get away with the same tricks and hacks and mastermind, whatever it might be. We've seen everything under the sun. So any questions on this, obviously reach out to us at eCommerce Chris. You can always find me at Chris, CHRIS, at ecommercechris.com. Talk to you soon.